Progressive Field for the CMSD Boys Baseball Championship. Tom Casberry with Tim Wells, and we're going to join right down to the field right now as they're honoring all their league all-stars. So we're going to pick that up, folks, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the game, Tom.
He's still gonna do the.
From John Marshall, Desiree Vives. From Max Hayes, Victoria Collinsburg. From John F. Kennedy, Ariana Mays. From Barr, Jasmine Smith. From Barr, Cameron Hudd. From Barr, Aaliyah Marche. And your 2023 MVP from Barr, Ade Carl. Your coach of the year from Rhodes, John Whitney. Your 2023 softball all-stars. And now for the 2023 baseball all-stars. From Barr, Dustin Somoza. From Gary Morgan, Carlos Rail. From Gary Morgan, Axel Facio. From John F. K, Roderick Shaw. From James F. Rhodes, Juan Toribio. From James F. Rhodes, Miguel Deeper. From James F. Rhodes, Joangel Rivera. From John Hay, Avion Kurtz. From John Hay, Curtis Carter. From John Hay, Asani Wells. From John Marshall, Daniel Roman. From John Marshall, Nick Mitchell. From John Marshall, Florin Gargarita. From Lincoln West, Jorge Martinez. From Lincoln West, Danielle Figueroa. From Lincoln West, Stephen Ruiz. From Max Hayes, Joel Miranda. From Max Hayes, Ray Hilliard. The 2023 MVP from Rhodes, Frankie Gallen. The 2023 Coach of the Year from Gary Morgan, Edward Hicks. your 2023 Senate All-Star.
Well, there you have it, the All-Stars right here from, again, Progressive Field being honored before the game. When we come back, we'll have the start of the 2023 CMSD Boys Baseball Championship between the John Marshall Lawyers and the James Rhodes Rams.
Let's go, Wolverine.
Baseball is a sport for all ages, and the city of Cleveland has programs for those who are just starting to play our nation's pastime. For boys and girls ages 4 to 7, T-ball teaches kids the building blocks of baseball and how to hit off a tee. For youngsters ages 8 to 10, the City of Cleveland Recreation Centers offer Coach Pitch Baseball. Boys and girls will learn the fundamentals of baseball with an instructor pitching the game. Play and safety equipment will be provided for both. Registration runs until June 23rd. For more information on days and times, contact your local recreation center for more information.
Welcome back to Progressive Field for the 2023 CMSD Championship game between the Rhodes Rams and the John Marshall Lawyers. Hi, I'm Tim Wells, and my partner Tom Castleberry's in the house. And Tom, when we talk, let's talk first about the John Marshall team. When we talked to that coach, Ken Rowson, what did he say the keys were for him today?
Yeah, they had a solid season, but he said to really be successful today, they're going to have to play solid defense. He only wants 3 outs an inning, no extra innings to give up the extra outs to give that big inning. They got to get some big hits against a solid pitcher. He wants his pitcher to limit the walks again. He wants to limit those base runners, and he thinks his outfielders' defense is going to be key.
And you noticed excitement in his voice when he talks about his key players for today. Let's talk about those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. He talked about Danny Roman, number 6. He batted .288 this year. He's a team captain. He went 2 for 3 against John Hay in their playoff game with a big triple. He stepped up. Then number 99 is catcher. Always important in these games with that big backstop. Nick Mitchell batted .388 this year. He's tough. He also plays first base. He's a team first player, which is huge. He just wants to do whatever he can to help the team win. And finally, number 36, first baseman Ricardo Velez, great defensive first baseman. He's probably their most consistent hitter, and he likes to hit to right center field. And then their most improved player, he thought, was Florian Gargarita, and he's a hardworking kid both on and off the field.
And obviously, when you look at the other side, the James Ford Rhodes Rams, again, they won both matches 10-0, 4-3. What were the keys for their team?
Yeah, coach said he really wants first pitch strikes, and again, I mean, who doesn't? Wants to limit walks, but he thinks the bottom of the order for him, 6 through 9, is going to be key. If they get some hits, it can turn the lineup over. He wants to limit the big inning and conversely keep their 6 to 9 hitters off the base, and he said he can't take the other team lightly, even though they've won twice already this year.
And obviously, those key players, again, they're big for the Rhodes Rams as well.
Yeah, the big 3 for Rhodes. Number 6 is pitcher Frankie Cruz. He's a 3-year starter. In his career, he has 191 strikeouts and a 19-4 record. In the Senate, he is 10-1, and his only loss was last year's championship game. Number 13, Juan Toribio, is his first year at Rhodes. He's a vital part to the team. He batted .249. He's a tremendous hitter, and he's contagious throughout the game to the rest of the players. And then finally, number 12, their center fielder, Hunter Black, who batted .381. He's a 3-year starter, great defensive player, and any hits that they get from him would be a plus.
Well, we've had a chance to talk a little bit about the teams. Right now, we're going to go down to Joe Wise for the player introductions. Joe?
Good afternoon, and welcome to Progressive Field for today's championship matchup. Competing for the Senate League Championship 2003, John Marshall Lawyers. Starting manager, Ken Rowson. Assistant coach, Ron Diaz. Number 79, junior, Javion Martin. Junior, Julio Martinez. Freshman, number 30, Messiah Guzman. And now for your starters, number 6, playing center field, senior, Daniel Rhodes. Number 4, pitcher, junior, Michael Gonzalez. Number 7, shortstop, junior, Leonardo Ellington. Number 99, catcher, senior, Nicholas Mitchell. Number 12, first base, Ricardo Torres Velez, senior. Number 8, third base, junior, Ocean Cruz. Number 11, right field, sophomore, Mikael Westbrook. Number 0, second base, sophomore, Caden Harrell. Number 13, left field, senior, Lauren Margarita. The John Marshall Lawyer. Their opponent for today's championship game, the James F. Rhodes Rams. Starting with their manager, Ryan McCollum. Assistant coach, Brandon Wolf. And now the players. Number 1, sophomore, Jesus Vega. Number 3, freshman, Manny Villarreal. Number 4, senior, Julian Lopez. Number 7, freshman, Daniel Alejandro. Number 8, freshman, Daniel Cruz. Number 9, freshman, Victor Martinez. Number 17, sophomore, Hayden Woodall. Number 18, junior, Elijah Cotrill. Number 22, sophomore, Cameron Lewis. And now the starters for the James F. Rhodes Rams. Number 10, third base, junior, Miguel Bieber. Pitching, number 6, senior, Frankie Galan. Number 13, shortstop, Juan Toribio. Number 11, junior, catcher, Joangel Rivera. Number 5, sophomore, second base, Cesar Rios. Number 21, senior, first base, James Joseph. Number 12, center field, junior, Hunter Black. Number 15, DH, senior, Luis Sinbad. Number 2, freshman, left field, Roberto Benitez. Ladies and gentlemen, the James F. Rhodes Rams.
have had the player introductions, and obviously we talked about the keys to the game. Well, let's take a look, first of all, at the Rhodes starting lineup. It'll be number 10, Miguel Pieper. He'll be the third baseman. Frankie Galano bats second, the pitcher. Juan Toribio, the shortstop. Joangel Rivera will bat fourth. Cesar Rios at second. James Joseph behind him at first. Hunter Black in center. Louis Simbeck will be the DH. And Roberto Benitez will be the final batter playing left. And Tom, when you look at the defense, it's a big key factor at the at the Rhodes Rams. Let's talk about that defense.
Yeah, for Rhodes, starting out in left field, we have number 2, Roberto Benitez. In center field, number 12, Hunter Black. Out in right field, number 15, Louis Simbeck. Coming around the infield, at third base, Miguel Pieper, number 10. At shortstop, Juan Toribio, number 13. Then we have number 5 at second base, Cesar Ruiz. Over at first base, number 21, James Joseph. Behind the plate, the catcher, number 11, Joangel Rivera. And on the mound, number 6, pitching for the Rhodes today, Frankie Gallant.
Well, we had a chance earlier today to catch up with the head coach of the James Ford Rhodes Rams to get his views on his starting pitcher today.
Hi, I'm the head baseball coach at Rhodes Senior High School. Today our starting pitcher is Frankie Gallant. In order for him to have success today, he needs to throw first pitch strikes, get his fast ball over, and make sure the curveball is not thrown to lower hitters.
In the Rhodes Rams defense, he'll face the John Marshall starting lineup. Daniel Roman will lead it off in center. Miguel Gonzalez, he'll bat second. Leonardo Ellington, the shortstop. Nicholas Mitchell, the catcher. Ricardo Torres Velez at first. Josian Cruz at third. Mikael Westbrook in right. Caden Harold at second. Florin Garrido will play in left field. In Tom, obviously, there's one team that we haven't talked about, and obviously they're going to play a big role as well, is the Cleveland umpires. They're going to work today's game, and we'll talk about those.
At home plate, Joe Neroni. He's a St. Edward graduate in 1977. He's been 16 years as an umpire. He also works in sports and events, VP marketing. At first base, we have Marlon Henderson. He's a Bedford High graduate in 1994, and he's 10 years being an umpire while he also is an employment recruiter. At second base, Chris Jacobs, a 1975 Rocky River graduate, 18 years as an umpire. At third base, a Shaw High graduate, George Berry, and he is a retired UPS worker.
And obviously a veteran crew that comes here today to do this game. And you know, Tom, you've been here, you've been sitting in those dugouts. What are some of the feelings that are going through those players and coaches' minds today?
Yeah, the biggest thing is you're anxious because you've been here for a couple hours. You had to get over the bugs of, jitterbugs of sitting around and walking onto this field, and then you warm up, and then you sit around for a while, and you go through the whole warm-ups and the introductions. And what you really hope, and I didn't see a lot of, is that the kids are out there playing catch just to stay loose in between, because often otherwise you come out a little bit tight. So you're just hoping they don't come out tight. If you can get through that first inning kind of error-free and your pitcher can throw strikes, then you can settle down a little bit, not too much.
Well, as you can see, we couldn't ask for a better day. They're giving us the temperatures in the high 70s, maybe low 80s. Perfect weather for a ball game. Nice cool breeze. And leading off for the John Marshall Lawyers is number 6, their league all-star and the center fielder, hitting .288 on the season. Immediately they go to the bunt, and they make the throw. So, Tom, a little bit of a shock.
I don't know. We were talking before the game. 1 year down here, I bunted my first 4 guys. Sometimes you just want to catch them off balance, and it's good for the first batter, get the bat on the ball. But on the flip side, pitcher's happy because one pitch went out.
So batting second is Michael Gonzalez, their pitcher, hitting .311 on the year. He'll pop this one straight up.
New life for Gonzalez there.
Well, I'll tell you what, as far as you looked at the catcher on that, where he turned to let the ball come back to him, I thought he did everything right other than the two-hand catch.
Yep, I was about to say everything looked perfect. He got rid of the mask. He got himself underneath the ball nicely and just forgot that other hand. And again, that's that first inning jitters.
Ground ball. So Michael Gonzalez grounds out to short.
Taribo did a nice job there because he fielded it and he kind of slipped. His footing gave way there right on the edge where the grass meets the dirt. And they're not used to playing where, you know, a field like this where the grass and the dirt both. And he had a little issue and slipped, but he didn't panic, made a nice throw to first base to get the out.
So batting third is their shortstop, Leonardo Ellington, hitting .301 on the year. And again, not only with the batting average, but also a high on-base percentage.
Nice to see him taking a couple pitches too, just to let everybody see something here, because we went 3 pitches and 2 outs in the first 2 batters there.
Foul territory.
He's not going to get any help over there. He was at the visitors' dugout. He wasn't sure about where that dugout was, but that's where his catcher's got to step up and tell him he's got space, because he had plenty of room over there.
Well, on the diamonds they play in, they don't have that long distance over there like they have here. So that's an adjustment.
Yeah, I think he was fooled as to how much room he really had.
Strike 3 looking. So 3 up, 3 down. Again, no runs, no hits. And now it'll be up to the Rhodes Rams. But first we're going to take a look at the John Marshall defense.
In left field, number 13, Florian Gargarita. In center field, number 6, Daniel Roman. Over in right field, Mikhail Westbrook, number 11. Coming around the infield at third base, Josiah Cruz, number 8. At shortstop, Leonardo Ellington, number 7. Over at second base, we have number 0, Caden Harold. At first base is number 12, Ricardo Torres Velez. Behind the plate, number 99, the catcher, Nicholas Mitchell. And then on the mound today for John Marshall is number 4, pitcher Michael Gonzalez.
And obviously we had a chance earlier today to catch up to the head coach of John Marshall to get his views of his starting pitcher today.
My name is Coach Robinson. I'm introducing Michael Gonzalez, our starting pitcher. He's a sophomore, a lefty. If he keeps his velocity up, throws strikes, and throws his sharp curveball, he'll be real effective today.
Well, obviously, as you mentioned earlier, Tom, in our open when we talked about keys, about that first strike, and obviously that usually helps settle the pitcher down as well as the team defense.
Yeah, like we saw that in the top half of the first. Galan got his pitches over early, and it seemed to just keep everybody a little bit calmer, even though they had a dropped ball there. Everybody stayed calm, so that's what they're looking for from Gonzalez. Now the difference is going to be here. We'll see how big of a difference it is, as Coach mentioned it earlier, him being a younger player, and see how his nerves handle him. But he looked good in warm-ups.
Well, leading off for the James Rhodes Rams is their league all-star, number 10. Their third baseman, batting .289.
And already we see a difference here with the first 2 batters took 3 pitches, and we're already 3 pitches into the first batter here for Marshall.
And Miguel draws the walk. And now it'll be up to their pitcher, number 6, hitting .311, Frankie Galan.
And while you like to be aggressive early in a game like this, I wonder how aggressive they'll be after 4 straight balls to start the game. See if they'll have any play on here.
Well, obviously, with a left-hander 4 straight, you'd think they would wait. But what do we know?
Great pick by the shortstop Ellington there to save an out.
So the fielder's choice with Miguel Pieper out at second base for the first out will now come up to batting third is number 13, another league all-star, their shortstop, hitting .389, Juan Toribio.
And we saw, you know, in that last one with Galan being a little more aggressive there, he was a little outside and he just hit a weak roller back to the mound. Maybe that'll get Gonzalez dialed in now. Came back with the first pitch strike.
Galan has showed a little speed for this team. He's had several stolen bases and he's off on this one. There's the throw, not in time.
Yeah, he got a really nice jump over there at first base. He did no hesitation. Once that leg lifted by the lefty, he just took off. And really a nice throw by Mitchell, too. It just happened to beat the throw by a hair.
So a 1-2 count, 1 out.
I know Coach Robinson talked about it earlier that he was hoping Gonzalez would get that curveball over, and it looked like it was just kind of not sharp yet, like he was hoping.
Gonna hit one deep, and it's gonna go. Rhodes will score, and he'll come in with a stand-up double. Juan Toribio with an RBI. And again, coming around to score was Frankie Galan. So they now lead 1-0 here. And now they go to their cleanup hitter, the Rhodes Rams. It'll be number 11, their catcher, a league all-star hitting .341, Joe Angel Rivera.
Always big in these games to score first. Kind of takes that pressure off we were talking about earlier, too. So Rhodes has got to feel real good over there in that third base dugout. Great block by Mitchell there. Threw his body down, kept it in front because that's a big backstop.
Coach, I can tell you, I'm sure in many of the years you coached down here, you probably saw a lot of games won and lost with that catcher being able to block the ball.
Yeah, there were some games we had some people that really threw the ball on the ground, threw it in the dirt, and we wanted them to, but that was only because we could trust our catchers. And otherwise, you're gonna take some bases. You could possibly take 2 if that catcher's a little slow to the backstop, not realizing how deep it is.
Two count. Toribio on second. 1 down. Cleanup hitter up. And he'll foul one down the right field line.
And you can tell there, Gonzalez is really trying to get that curveball down. He kind of left that one up. It's just not breaking off for him yet. And again, might be that long layoff we were talking about between warming up and the start of the game.
So again, a ground ball to third. 2 down. And now it'll be up to Cesar Rios, their second baseman, number 5, sitting 245 on the year. Gonna pop it straight up in the infield. He lost it in the sun. Oh no.
Yeah, that sun is definitely bright today, and it doesn't appear that he has sunglasses on right now, but he's got to use that glove to try to block it. Once he lost it, he tried to block, but at that point he just couldn't see it anymore.
So now with 2-0 lead, it'll be up to James Joseph, their first baseman, number 21, getting 274 on the year. He's a senior.
Yeah, with him being one of 4 seniors for Rhodes, that's just a calming effect for a coach, knowing you've got those guys with that experience.
I think they're definitely going to be running here.
Without a throw even, he got a great jump there too.
Two outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runs. Deuce is wild. And he's going to hit one to center. He's got the throw. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time.
It's a great job of hitting by Joseph. Looked like he kind of jammed him even on the inside there with 2 strikes, and he was able to just muscle the ball into center field, do his job, and get the run home. Give him a 3-0 lead.
And now it'll be number 12, Hunter Black, their center fielder, 237 on the year. He's a junior.
Gonzalez could usually really big out here and get them back in and try to get some of these runs back before it gets a little bit tougher and the nerves get a little bit higher. And this is a point where your catcher might need to go out and settle down the young pitcher there. You can see body language on the mound. He's kind of shaking his head a little bit, dropping his shoulders. You know, he's probably pumped up for this game, you know, for a week since the playoffs.
Full count. And he'll foul that one off.
And with 2 outs, runner's going to get a little extra head start over there at first base. So if he can find a gap, maybe they can get another run here.
We got another walk here in the first inning. And now it'll be up to the designated hitter, number 15, Louis Simback. He's hitting 227 on the year. He's a senior.
Yeah, before the game, Tim, both coaches talked about the importance of 6 through 9 hitters. Well, so far, Rhodes 6 and 7, both have got on base and have an RBI already.
He's ahead 0-2, Tom.
And normally you like to waste a pitch here or something, but this pitch count is already high. He might just need to go right after him, get out of this inning, go hit. Boy, a great jump at second base to get the steal there. Never look back at him, and that's what his catchers tell him. He reminded him he's got to at least give him a look, because he took off before his leg even lifted on that one.
I think the coach was trying to steal one there when he had the double steal on. But I also think the defense didn't communicate when he was going.
Yeah, the pitcher definitely had no idea. Didn't look back. I didn't see anybody, yell to him either. And that was really heads-up base running there to get himself to third base by Joseph. As you could tell, it wasn't a straight steal even at first base. He didn't leave until much later.
So he'll strike him out to end the inning. But Rhodes comes up with 3 runs and 2 hits. And again, you're talking about walks. They had 2 walks, Tom, something he was really concerned about. Came back to hurt him in that inning.
Yeah, but you saw as soon as he came off the mound, Coach Robinson stopped him and started to talk to him. He didn't even make it to the dugout yet because he stopped to talk to him, partially to calm him down, but partially to remind him about, let's make sure we're watching runners on base, throwing strikes. But knowing Coach like that, I'm sure it was more about just calming him down because he's going to need him to come out and put up some zeros while his offense gets going.
And obviously, we have a lot of people to thank as we go through the day. Again, first ones we want to thank is Cleveland Guardians Charities and them making this opportunity available for the kids in Cleveland to come out here and play on a baseball field where all the pros come.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible that they do this every year now for all these years. When I talk to former players, they don't always talk about if we won the championship or not every time, but they definitely talk about their experiences when they were down here. Things that happen as a group and a family, but just being in the dugouts and they love hanging over the edges like that because you don't get that experience in the regular fields throughout the year. So all that stuff is amazing that the Guardians do this for them every year.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And again, the Cleveland Guardians, they fund this program. When the schools were not going to have the baseball and softball, they stepped up at that time, and it was the Indians then, but now it's the Guardians. They still continuing that.
And it's fantastic. We had a couple players that almost gave up because they thought sports was over and they weren't going to be back for baseball, so they stopped even going to class, and then they heard the Indians at the time stepped up and they got right back, and it changed those guys' lives.
So now batting is the cleanup hitter, their catcher, number 99. He's a league all-star, Nicholas Mitchell. Again, he's a senior.
And if you're Marshall here, you don't need to get all 3 of them back right away and press yourself. Just get something on the board just to make yourself feel a little bit better. But let me tell you, Galana is dealing so far.
So 1 down. And now it'll be up to their first baseman, number 12, Ricardo Torres Velez. And again, Ricardo is really senior, 330 on the year. They're going to put this one straight up in the air and on back in the rows. Coach, you got to help me out. I remember Lincoln West years ago when I was there, had that same issue. A Spanish-speaking kid, Spanish-speaking coach. How did we get around that?
I got around it by hoping that they'd have somebody on the team that would translate it for me. I'm not sure they were always completely honest with me if I was sitting somebody, but they helped me out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Frankie Galan has seemed like he has just settled in and taken control here. And 2 strikeouts here in the second inning.
That's 3 straight batters he struck out now.
And now it'll be up to their right fielder. Sitting 256 on the year, number 11, Mikael Westbrook. He's only a sophomore. Oh, I'm sorry, number eight, Josian Cruz. He's the third baseman, hitting 220 on the year. And again, he's a junior. We saw his arm earlier on defense. Did a nice job throwing over.
Yeah, we talked about body language the last half inning, and right now Galan's body language is, give me the ball, I'm getting these guys. You can just tell his mentality right now. There's no fear.
So Cruz pops out to the second baseman. Again, an easy play for the second baseman. Again, that was Cesar Rios. So Tom, as we mentioned earlier, we talked about the Cleveland or Cleveland Guardian charities. I keep saying that word. We'll get used to getting it accomplished. But one of the things that we would be remiss is the coaches that are coaching the kids today. It is more than just a coach.
Yeah, there's so much going on in our, in our schools and in the neighborhoods and everything else, and you really, even now more than ever, have to just kind of keep up with them, check in with them, be a sounding board for them if they need it. Make sure you got the right people to send them to, because you can't do it all yourself. And it's definitely appreciative of all the coaches, not just the two here today, but everybody in the Senate and across the state in general that works with the young men and women in softball to help them out.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention it, but congratulations goes out to Bard Early College High School as they defeated the Rhodes Rams 14-12 over at Cleveland State earlier this past week. Congratulations. So now it is number 2, Roberto Benitez. He's a 9th grader.
And right now what's making it easier for the Rhodes hitters, I'm sure they picked up on this, is that Gonzalez is having trouble throwing his breaking ball over the plate, so they can kind of just look fastball until they have 2 strikes at least, because he's having trouble bringing that thing through the zone.
Nice play again by the shortstop from John Marshall, Leonardo Ellington.
Took his time, nice strong hard throw across the diamond. Exactly what Marshall needed.
So we're back to the top of the order. Miguel Pieper, and again, he's hitting 289. He walked and then was forced out at second first time up.
And just what you want out of your leadoff guy is a patient hitter. He's seen 6 pitches already, still hasn't swung. He's just waiting for his pitch.
You know what's make the throw here. But what's really, I've seen it, and I remember when I played as a kid too, I used to sit there and I go, give me that pitch. And when they gave it to me, and if I missed it, I said, please give it to me one more time.
They never do, though, do they?
No, never happens.
And that's just what happened there. And this is what we were talking about. Gonzalez finally snapped that curveball nice and got him to chase it to get it the second out of the inning. Maybe that gets him going.
So they're going to pop this up. Pitcher calls for it. 3 up, 3 down. Somebody's starting to relax a little bit. So as we go to the top of the 3rd inning, again, an outstanding 2 teams that are playing here. Obviously, when we talk about the Cleveland Guardians, obviously the other factor is they do more than just CMSD. They show a video of the RBI program that's reviving baseball in the inner city. These are kids that get to play during the summer. They learn more than just a game. It's life skill lessons. And again, these are kids that can try out. And again, we're looking for those CMSD kids that really want to play, the Cleveland kids. And again, we hope you check with the Cleveland Guardians. It's on there, the RBI tryouts. And again, the amazing thing, Tom, and you know being around it, everything is totally free.
Yeah, being lucky enough to coach at both the junior and senior level for the RBI program, and just seeing how the kids are treated. You know, they have full major league uniforms. You know, when we go, you know, make it to the World Series, they get treated like major league players. You know, bust around, you know, staying in the hotels, and they don't have to pay for any of it, which is the best part about it, because they can just go out and play baseball and not have to worry about, well, how am I going to make this happen, or how am I going to make that happen. And you know, we've got some great coaches that really dedicate a lot of time over the summer with these kids, and just, you know, to get to see those kids' faces and, you know, trade jerseys with people from Puerto Rico or from California or something like that in the World Series. And none of it would be possible if the Guardians didn't, you know, sponsor and provide what they needed for the program.
So now batting for John Marshall is number 11, Mikael Westbrook, right fielder, 256 on the year, 10th grader.
And they're really having trouble catching up with Galan's fastball.
Again, folks, we were talking about the RBI program. Hopefully you have paper and pencil handy. If you're interested in calling and finding out more about that RBI program, you can call this number, 216-420-4420. Again, that's 216-420-4420. Again, that's 216-420-4420. Ralphio Collins can get you to the RBI program. Please pick up the phone right now, and he'll be able to help you out. So we got 2-0 count, 1 out. And at the top of the inning, we're going to be bringing in the senior RBI head coach, Corey Douglas, and he'll be with Tom for a few innings. And Coach, I'm sure you've seen this Corey Douglas guy around a few times.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's looking a little bit older now, dealing with all these kids, but you know, he's still looking good over there. He's still got more hair than I do, so.
I told him the other day, I saw him the first time, I said, Coach, I see a few gray hairs already. What the heck?
Yeah, you coach long enough, they're bound to come. It's Marshall's first base runner of the game on that walk. See if that can get him going a little bit here.
We're in that 6 to 9. now it'll be Florin Gargarita, the left fielder. He's hitting .315 on the year, number 13. Ground ball, he takes the sure out. That's 2 down. And now we go back up to the top of the order, and it'll be Daniel Roman, center fielder. We saw him in the video. He's part of the RBI program. He's got some speed, folks. 288 center fielder. I love the way this guy stands up there, Coach.
Yeah, there's no confidence issues there for sure. He's ready to roll. Marshall could really use a big two-out base hit right here. Get on the scoreboard, feel a little bit better about themselves.
He nipped that outside corner. You can tell he's being very careful with Roman and where they're going to pitch him. There it is, base hit. Marshall, exactly what the doctor ordered. They're on the board. Daniel Roman has brought them to their feet.
Yeah, he did a great job of hitting there. Didn't try to do too much. Just put the ball in play. Big two-out hitting. We've seen it from both teams now. Yeah, I expect them to be running early here to try to get in scoring position.
And now it'll be Michael Gonzalez. He's their pitcher, hitting .311 on the year. Number 4. He's a junior. Coach, I got to think we'd be running here.
Yeah, 2 outs. I think they got to move them along here and try to steal another run.
There it is in the hole. They'll have to hold him there, but we got 2 hits in a row. The lawyers are saying, not yet, we're coming.
Well, and it's a good thing he was running there because he hit it right in the spot where the shortstop, Taribo, took off to cover second base. So he was able to get it right through that opening.
So now it's their shortstop, number 7, Leonardo Ellington. He struck out looking his first time. 3-hole hitters don't do that very often, Coach. Strike out looking. You got to put the bat on the ball.
And, you know, right now, Coach Robinson's really looking for that big 2-out hit again from his big hitter.
Take one inside. Again, we're back up at the top of the order, so batting third. So they're getting a second look at him. We'll take another one inside.
And you can just see a little bit of difference in Galan. You know, that now he has to come out of the stretch. He hadn't had to do that early on. He's having a little more trouble finding the strike zone.
Ground ball, base hit. Here comes another run. He didn't pick it up. They're going to move him into second base. And before you know it, it's second and third, and John Marshall has now put another run on the board.
Yeah, that run was going to score from second no matter what, but that was huge to move the runners up to second and third because now a base hit can give them the lead. And like we talked about earlier with Marshall, we were saying that maybe they need to go settle down the pitcher. Great job by Rivera here, just going out, settling his pitcher down. He's still doing well. We knew this team was going to hit. Just relax him a little bit.
So 3-2. Coach is going to have a talk with Nicholas Mitchell. He's their catcher. He's a league all-star, senior. So he grounds out back to the pitcher. But that ends the inning. But John Marshall comes up with 2 big runs on 3 hits and a walk. It is now 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. And Coach, I'm going to turn this over to the head coach of the senior boys RBI program. And folks, just before I leave, I want you to know that during the school season, he's got some records. One at Mount Union as the pitching coach, has the most saves he's left there, and he's at the University of Akron now. So I'm sure he's going to bring a lot of success wherever he goes. But first of all, Tom, it's all yours, and I'm going to get out of here so Corey can handle this.
Thanks, Tim. And we're moving here to the bottom of the 3rd for Rhodes. They will be having their 3, 4, 5, and hitters coming up. Great inning for John Marshall to get themselves back into this game, settle down some nerves some. And now what they need from their young pitcher is they need him to come out and throw out some zeros so that they can get right back to hitting. That's huge after that as we welcome Skip into the booth.
Oh, we're live. We are live.
I don't know if Tim knew what he was doing getting us back together and actually giving us both microphones at the same time, but
I was just telling Tommy when we did Connie Mack the one time, and you knew all my signs and you were calling all the plays out. You looked like the world's greatest sports.
See, now you just ruined all my secrets because I didn't tell anybody that I knew your signs. I just pretended like I knew what was going on.
I think he's gonna steal here, guys. Oh, there he goes.
Full transparency, I don't know any signs from Rhodes or Marshall, so anything today is fully instinctual.
Toribio up with a little double on the day.
And we were talking earlier, Skip, about that Gonzalez was having trouble early on, and they talked about with his curveball he needed to be sharp, and it was, you know, a little loopy. He couldn't really find the groove for it. Now he's been burying some in the dirt, got a strikeout on one of them, and I know that's got to make them feel better in the dugout that he can actually throw more than just the fastball over here for strikes.
Oh, absolutely. Plus he's a sophomore, so you think over time he's going to settle in a little bit. First inning nerves will get you, and 3 runs in the first inning. You hope it's not that many, but it shouldn't surprise you for a guy probably making his first start at Progressive Field.
Absolutely, and that long layoff between warming up.
Line drive there to second base.
Nice play by Harold at second, and that's exactly what Gonzalez needed. Get right back out there, get an out.
Yeah, this is a big shutdown inning. They can get a shutdown inning here. It gives John Marshall a really good chance to kind of swing right into the thick of things, maybe take the lead.
And now Rhodes' cleanup hitter here, Joangelo Rivera, steps to the plate. He grounded out to third his first time up.
Another line drive to second base.
Well, instant replay right there.
Literally same swing, same pattern.
They're definitely barreling the ball up, but that time he got the outs. They hit a couple little bloopers earlier that fell. It's baseball for you. But
Former RBI guy right here.
as last time up, he had that ball that shortstop Ellington kind of lost in the sun. Got on base and scored a run.
Ooh, line drive there. Ooh, right over third baseman's head.
Another line drive, a little different result there. Rios will reach base for a second time today.
2 for 2 with a stolen base.
That'll bring up number 21, the lefty first baseman, James Joseph. Sorry, righty first baseman, James Joseph. He had that big 2-out hit earlier, RBI, back in the first inning, scored their third run.
Hitting 274 on the year, so like his chances.
So we were talking earlier in the broadcast, Tim and I were about the importance of changing your approach with two outs, and especially if they can get this runner into scoring position, and that's exactly what he did last time. He just threw the bat out, hit a little blooper in, scored a run. Everybody always wants to hit those hard line drives, but you know better than anybody that all that matters is you get that ball in the outfield.
Oh yeah, especially get 2 strikes. Now they got a guy running. It's in scoring position, just like you said. Single anywhere really scores you a run here.
Yeah,
you like to think it would at least.
Yeah, you see the outfielders here too, especially early on until they get a feel. They're so worried about that big
Ball
gap
getting over
behind
their
them.
head.
Yeah, there's such a big field here, that they play a little deeper than you might normally play, and you're not going to steal.
There it is, single up the middle.
Carbon copy of his first.
Gonna have a play at the dish. Ooh. Safe at the plate.
And another big 2-out RBI hit by Joseph, almost to the same exact spot. That's the answer Rhodes was looking for, and exactly what Gonzalez was hoping to avoid.
Big, big hit. Need to shut down inning there, keep Rhodes from any momentum. Just did not happen.
Brings up Hunter Black, who walked his first time up.
Seen this Hunter Black kid play before. He's got good wheels. Be nice to see a little bunt for hit here, even with 2 outs.
Yeah, I think you definitely can catch some of the fielders off guard there. Third baseman's playing well behind the bag. You can get down that baseline and walk into first base.
So is life different for you on the other side now? You're used to winning these games.
It is. It's a little weird being up here, but it was fun while it lasted. Now it's fun to coach my son and bring him down here today and be our spotter over there.
Spotter.
So he'll be talking about this tonight at our game with all his buddies. What'd you guys do in school today? I was down at Progressive Field spotting for TV.
That was the job I had when I was his age with Tim.
Yep.
So just spotting, making calls, messing everything up, getting yelled at. He looks like he's doing way better than me, so.
He's smarter than I ever was, so it probably makes sense.
Gonzalez starting to struggle a little bit again.
Yeah, his pitch count's starting to get up there too. He's not going to be able to last very long with his long first and third innings and another walk for Black.
What is the high school pitch count? 105 for these guys right now?
Yeah,
I believe that's what it is.
Sounds about right. Didn't have that back in the day when Carlos Ortiz was pitching for me. And
rules have changed. The Carlos Ortiz and Matt Mazur days where they throw 200 in a day.
Come on, he only threw 156. He's still got the pitch counter in his trophy case. I gave it to him after the game.
That's awesome.
Funny thing about that day is he threw 156 pitches. I think 3 of them were curveballs, 4 of them were changeup. Everything else was just a fastball.
He was a freshman then?
Yeah, and he also, a nice play at second base there to get him out of the inning, as at least he can get out of this inning with only giving up 1 run on 2 hits, but it pushes the Rhodes lead out to 2.
A 2-run lead could be pretty drastic. Might allow Frankie a chance to settle in a little bit here.
Well, I'll tell you, the way he pitched early, I didn't know if anyone was going to get on base, so he was really bringing it. They were behind everything. They settled in, though, and found his timing.
Oh, yeah. I thought in the first inning we had a shot at a run rule maybe, the way it was going. 3 runs and only an out with a couple guys on base.
So I know for you, being a baseball junkie, it's just got to be, no matter who's playing, no matter what, see a sunny day down at Progressive Field and see 2 teams on the field, you've got to be loving this.
Oh, it's amazing. Couldn't draw up a better day either. Beautiful day, beautiful weather at Progressive Field, and we're getting a good game. I mean, that's what you want. So it's, yeah, it wouldn't matter to me who's playing down here. I think we'd all come down on this type of a day. It sure beats those 30 degrees and rainy college days, I'll tell you that.
Got that right. And a lot of the games this year for both these teams had rainouts and the chilly weather. I know we've had some games where we had to, already just in our summer program being only, a month old, where we had to be wearing hats and gloves in the dugout and stuff just to keep warm. And we didn't play our first game until end of March, beginning of April.
Well, the good thing now with the Cleveland Guardians and the charities is, I mean, you're seeing it everywhere. There's starting to be turf fields for these young high school kids all over the place in Cleveland. You got League Park, Low Park, Brookside, Talty. Jose Ramirez is getting built right now as we speak.
As we have a little error on the second
there.
baseman, Ruiz, to get John Marshall started there as Torres Velez puts the ball in play. And we said putting the ball in play is huge. Good things happen.
Yeah, right under the mitt. Looks like he wanted to go throw the ball before he had it.
And that'll bring up the third baseman, Hossein Cruz. He popped up to the second baseman last time.
He had a little scrappy at bat last time as well. Aggressive back there. Coach wants him to be on time. He's way early.
He's definitely being aggressive, but maybe a little too aggressive according to Coach over there at third.
Oh, there it is. Throw to second.
Nice job by the first baseman Joseph there to get the lead runner. Didn't panic, took his time. They didn't even, Ellington or Taribo didn't even worry about trying to turn two there. Just get that lead runner on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, good play to just take your routine out and not throw the ball away into the dugout over here and put a guy at second base.
And that brings up the right fielder Westbrook. He's strikeout victim his first time up, as many of the Marshall hitters were against Galan.
256 on the year. Along with a little pick play.
And I know you love to see that there. Simbeck out in right field, sprinting down the line on the throw over to first base.
Man, I'm here with a couple of coaches already, and we were just talking about the fundamentals that Rhodes has. I mean, they are backing up bases everywhere. Right fielder backs it up again. I mean, you got to give it to him. This looks like a really good, well-coached team. Something excites you to see the simple fundamentals of baseball that have gotten lost throughout the years. Ooh, good bunt. Baseman fields it. Safe.
Yep. Maybe a couple too many pumps of the glove there. And we talked about it, in the last half inning about laying down a bunt, and that was definitely a bunt looking for a base hit. He wasn't trying to sacrifice there, and it was perfect placement to that. Made the third baseman charge it. Got himself a little base hit out of it.
Love the small ball game. Good bunt for a hit there.
We talked earlier in the game about the one year when we were playing against Rhodes, and we bunted our first 4 hitters of the game and scored 3 runs on it.
Can't hit them, bunt them.
This brings up Caden Harold. He walked and scored his first time up.
I mean, the 8 and 9 guys hitting 308 and 315 to turn over the lineup. That's pretty good.
Ball thrown to center field there on the pickup, but good backup again, like you said. Center fielder right there, kept the runners in bay.
Rhodes has done all the little things right so far. John Marshall's definitely going to have to earn a victory if they're going to get one today. So when are you coming back to your old stomp on RBI days?
You're going to have to wait until Troy's done with me in the summers and chasing him all over the place.
What we got? How many more years till Troy's with RBI? 4?
Well, he's 10 now, so.
So 5? No, well, 13 he can start. You've won a couple of regional championships, a couple World Series opportunities.
We were just talking about that earlier, how great it is, how the kids get treated. And
back.
Nice line drive, double play. Runner took off trying to score there from second on the line drive, but a big play over there at second base by Ruiz, which is nice to see because the inning started with his error and it ended with a heads-up play to get the line drive unassisted double play there.
Great play. Always got to go back on line drives.
And you saw Coach on the way in there. Both coaches were kind of yelling over there and reminding him of that, but you want to stay kind of positive and because they got to bounce back from this one there.
It's always the toughest play is the line drive at someone's head. Everyone has a tendency to want to move forward.
So they were not able to take advantage of those hits there. Stay at the 2 runs, and they're down 4-2 as we enter the bottom of the 4th.
9-1-2 coming up here. Be a big inning for Rhodes to kind of push this game apart, create a little separation.
And they're going to stick with Gonzalez, but we will see, before the game, Coach talked about his senior relief pitcher. If he needed to settle anything down, that's who we'd go to. But I really like the way we talked early about Gonzalez. Maybe had a little in that first inning, a little disappointment. His body language was kind of off, but since then he's looked really nice, settled down.
Like you said, he's starting to get a good feel for that breaking ball, which is definitely going to be a big factor for him to keep it where it's at.
And just another little RBI connection here over down at the third baseline there. Coach Wes Reyes over there, one of Cleveland's finest now, taking care of keeping us all safe down there.
From the coaching box to keeping us safe.
And Benitez leads us off, and he grounded out to short last time. Ellington took care of him.
Hitting 265 on the year, Skip. Ooh. Gonzalez starting to pound the corners.
And that was the difference earlier in that first inning. His fastball was right down the middle, and he couldn't get his breaking ball near. They were able to sit on it, where now he's moving it in and out a little bit. That breaking ball's bending a little bit sharper for him.
Gonzalez working quick. I love to see that as a pitching guy.
Maybe the Guardians forgot to turn off the pitch
There's a
clock.
single to the left side.
When both coaches talked before the game about how important their 6 through 9 hitters would be in this game, and how important it would be to keep the other team's 6 through 9 hitters off the bases. And it seems like all game 6 through 9 hitters for both teams have been on base.
Yeah.
Pieper comes up after walking and striking out so far.
Wouldn't be surprised. Oh, runner's going. Dirt ball Reed.
Got a little bit of a late jumper, was able to take advantage of the ball. I thought Mitchell did a pretty good job of dropping down the ball. It sounded like maybe it popped off the top of his knee.
Either hit the top of the knee or the helmet.
But it kicked just a little too far away, and Pieper took advantage, or sorry, Benitez took advantage of it. Put him in scoring position for Pieper.
Gotta see if coach will bunt here. Maybe move a guy into third base. Even easier scoring position for
I know
them to
two
tag
coaches
on.
sitting up here that would bunt him over.
Oh yeah. Put a little pressure on the third baseman as well. Fouled it back straight there on the heater.
Maybe gave him one hack at it, and now he's gonna go. Maybe he missed a sign too, because I just saw his coach at third base throw his hands up in the air. And coach, when Tim was sitting with us before, he said, you know, how many times I was throwing my hands up in the air, and that's why I went gray so quick.
Yeah, I'm already there. I got the gray sprinkles going on up top, so it must be because of all the bunts and hit and runs our guys miss all summer long. They say it gets easier as you get older, but it sounds like they're lying to me, huh?
Yeah, you just get more patient. That's necessarily easier. But I'll let you know when it gets easy.
Probably never then.
Probably. We'll be sitting around retired watching the game on a couch somewhere, and we still won't be taking it easy on them.
Curveball there.
Just missed there, but that definitely looked better. He's getting more control of it, but these walks, coach talked about it earlier, that he really couldn't afford to have his guys walk. It brings up Rhodes pitcher Frankie Galan, and he reached his first time on a fielder's choice, and he popped up to the pitcher his last time up. And again, another big situation here that I'd really think about getting 2 guys over here, lay down a bunt, or he could just do that and turn on the ball.
I think Frankie's one of the best players in the city. Does it all, catches, plays some short pitches, he's fast, twitchy. So
I've been impressed with him on the mound. His composure, his body language, everything about him looks really good. It's the first time I've seen him, but
his only loss came into Senate championship last year. So only loss in his high school career. Ground ball third. Could be a double play here.
Exactly what Marshall needed right there, except he threw the ball away at first base.
Throws the ball away. Runner scoring.
Oh, wheels are falling
off.
no. So you can hear coach down on the field ask what he was doing, and what looked like a tailor-made, just exactly what Marshall needed, a ground ball. Third base, he gets the out, steps on the base. As you can see here, he just throws a little bit high, but what we talked about with Rhodes and the backing up of the throws, we didn't see on that play, and it definitely cost him as the first baseman, Torres Velez, kind of lost his footing going to pick up the ball, and that allowed another run to score.
Now the job gets even easier. Ground ball to third. It's going to do enough the job to score them.
So that was huge there. They could have, at worst, been looking at first and second, but at best, we're looking at double play there. But now instead, 2 runs have scored. Nice fielder's choice, or sorry, nice RBI ground out there for Taribo.
The way Frankie's thrown on the mound, 4 runs could be enough.
Yeah, that's going to be tough unless he starts to lose it a little bit there.
Rivera's another good player. His Rhodes coach thinks he's one of the best guys on the team.
Yeah, he's another one of their all-stars. Batting .341. He's hit the ball hard. He was one of those line drives last inning to second base. They hit the ball really well. Just didn't find a hole, but he can get him started again with 2.
Gonzalez back to pounding the corners, what he needs to do. Just getting the ground balls, just they're not landing his way.
And you know, as being a former pitcher, like we both are, a former pitching coach like we both are, and then you got a pitcher out there, you want to trust him because we never wanted our coaches to come out and get us. But, you know, how long can he really go with him if the Rhodes is really starting to hit the ball like that up the middle? They seem like they're timing him up. It almost seems like maybe they need to change the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think, well, you think you'd at least see a mound visit to kind of slow the team down, especially after a big error. They throw the ball away, which I'm sure Coach will do here shortly. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Got to change the pace a little bit. Maybe just kind of stop the bleeding.
And we're running out of outs here for Marshall to come back. And like you said, Galan's dealing. He had a rough inning before, but I don't like my chances against him. And
pass ball there.
Nothing he could do there. That thing made it maybe 56 feet.
Yeah. A wild pitch. Rio's here, 2 for 2 on the day with a stolen base.
Scored twice. He's really been the spark plug for him today.
Hit Hare might go contention for MVP on the day.
And I'll tell you right now, the other contention right behind him, the batting order coming up, so they really need this out because Joseph's got 2 big RBI hits.
2 big
today.
RBI hits. As you said last time, both kind of in the same exact place in right center.
Yeah, the way Joseph's kind of dialed in here, I think if I'm coaching, if Rios gets on here, that's probably the end of the day for me, for my pitcher, because he seems to have his number.
The difficult part for Marshall's going to be their next best pitcher starting in center field right now, so he's going to have to come in with just 8 warm-ups and be ready to go. There's a ground ball off the foot. Umpire's got it right.
Yep, so I think he's asking him. He wasn't sure, so he's coming to ask his partners. From up here, I kind of thought it hit his foot. He's definitely limping, so he's either a really good actor or that thing hit him off his foot because he looks like he's hurting bad. I'm with you, though. Right away, I thought it bounced right off his foot.
He's got the limp going.
Yeah.
Going to see the replay right here. Ooh, that's tough to see there.
It's really hard to see, and nobody called it right away, but it looks like they are going to say it was a foul ball. And I think if I'm coaching over on Marshall, I'm going to come out and question, well, how did nobody call it then? If you, who's overturning it? Because right away, anyone could have thrown their hands up and called that if they saw it. So. But that would, you and I would never argue with an umpire. I'm just saying that that's how I would do it. But great job by Gonzalez there to get himself out of the inning anyway. But Marshall is in a deeper hole now as Rhodes adds on, gets another 2 runs, and pushes their lead out to 6-2. And as we head here to the 5th inning, we're going to send this to break.
I'm Alicia Ocasio, national champion, professional softball player, Nike athlete. Each week here on Play Ball MLB and Nike showcase a Nike RBI league from around the country. This week's Nike RBI Spotlight takes us to Cleveland, to the Guardians Nike RBI program, where the kids were joined by some special guests.
Cleveland RBI is really one of a kind. The Guardians have stepped in amazingly.
Nice to meet you too.
Anything we need, equipment, uniforms, they've given us. Players interact with them, play catch with them,
That's real.
and ask them any questions they want.
To know who you are as a baseball player and just go out there and be confident. I think it's the little interactions like that where we can talk about baseball and what the strengths are when it comes to like moving to the next level. We can relate to them and they don't see us as these big superstars. To them, it's really special, which means all the world to me.
It was very cool to see like all the players that I admire, that they're willing to take their time to talk to us. We went into the outfield, caught some fly balls.
My confidence just went from low to high. So I just enjoyed every single bit of it. Last year, Maelstrom and Josh Neiman then went to a game. Come on. Yeah, MLB players coming to our game to come watch us play and have fun. It's amazing.
Coming here and then.
For me, it's important because, you know, as a kid, you look at, you know, other people having success and you want to know why. Having the opportunity to, you know, see them working on the cage with us, it's special to be with them.
The Guardians and backs us up. Everyone sees what Cleveland RBI is. They see the opportunities we are getting. They're gonna want to come and be like, hey, I want to be a part of Cleveland RBI now.
Good luck with everything, bro.
Thank you guys. Thank
Good
you
luck.
guys.
Good luck, my friend.
Good luck this season. Good luck this season. Thank you.
And we're back here at Progressive Field as we enter the top of the 5th inning. And in for Corey Douglas now is a fellow TC, Tommy Caroselli, who is our junior RBI coach, former junior and senior RBI player, former shortstop at Normandy. So we have a lot of ties here going back. And welcome into the booth, Tommy. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me in, Coach.
And when Skip was in here, we were talking about how big of an inning that was for Rhodes just to push that lead out, because the way Galan is pitching, it's going to be really hard over these last couple innings to chip away at that lead. I don't think Marshall has much room for error the rest of the way.
Yeah, Frankie's been outstanding all day, kind of from the jump. That little hiccup in the third where Marshall was able to get some traffic, get some runners in motion, some timely hits from Roman and Ellington, really helped him out. But yeah, Frankie's been outstanding throughout the afternoon.
And leading off for Marshall is Florian Gargarita. He has grounded out his first time up, looking to be the spark plug that coach said he needed from his 6 to 9 hitters here. It'd be great to turn the lineup over with the leadoff base runner, but not going to happen as he goes down swinging as Galan. Exactly what he wanted after those 2 runs. Come out, get that first guy out as we turn it over to the top of the lineup.
You got to hope the top can give him a spark here. Roman really not performing his best today, but still been solid, 1 for 2. He can impact the game in so many ways with his speed, though.
Yeah, we saw it his last time up with his single, stolen base, RBI, scored a run. Almost, Coach, right back at us. I thought we had a shot.
Danny just does such a good job. You guys mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. Just his presence in the box, stands tall, even with not the biggest stature, but definitely a confident player up there.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want out of your leadoff hitter. You know, we all look for that leadoff hitter that's not only going to be patient, but kind of a patient aggressive, which I know kind of contradicts it, but that's what he reminds me of. He looks up there, he looks confident, he looks like he's ready to go. That's why he's one of their leaders. He's one of their all-stars.
A different move there. Something we haven't seen, trying to throw the pace off as Roman steps out, calls time.
And I thought they could have used that a couple times earlier when Galan was really dealing. He breezed through that first inning a little bit too quick. Speaking of breeze, we're finally getting one up here in the booth, cooling us off a little bit right on cue as our papers go flying. But it's a much welcome breeze because it was getting a little warm up here. But that's also going to play in. The flags are blowing in now. This is one of those situations. Going to knock down some balls out there possibly, but Roman does a nice job, works a walk. Base runners is all they need, no matter how they can get them.
A gutsy full count take there, but gets the call, and now he's on first.
Gonzalez stepping in. He grounded out and has a base hit his first 2 at-bats. Now here you just wonder how aggressive Marshall can be on the base paths. I mean, I know it's me or Coach Douglas. We're we don't even know what non-aggressive means, so we're probably stealing here, but I just don't know. You know, good arm behind the plate here with Rivera, and you don't want to take a big inning away, but you know how fast Roman is.
And that's the chess match, right? Is your fast runners versus a pretty plus catcher. You know, how do you juggle that? And I'd like to see Danny get in motion here, maybe just create a spark for John Marshall to get some energy back in that dugout. There he goes.
And there it is, good throw, but he just had a good jump, and he's so fast. Gets himself in a scoring position. They're going to need any runs they can get here to chip away. So I like the aggressiveness from Coach Robinson over there at third.
Good jump there. Nice little third step look in. Great steal from Danny.
Popped him straight up behind the plate. We had issues earlier. This time he's able to squeeze it behind the plate. Nice play by Rivera. Got his body turned again. Like to see that second hand come on so we don't have another one sneak out of his glove, but he makes the play for the second out.
Good job there. Got rid of the mask. He's got the shades underneath, so the sun's not a factor. Really good job there. And now all of a sudden, they're in the productive outs kind of go by the wayside. Now you need a big 2-out hit.
Well, this is who you want up. You want Ellington up. He's batting over 300 on the year. He has a base hit and RBI in his last at bat. Number 3 hole hitter.
Leo was with us on the juniors last year, the junior RBI team. Kid's just a leader. He understands that every team's going to have a couple guys that are the heartbeat, and he's a guy that really grasps that role and can do it with his game and can also do it in the dugout to get guys going.
And that is a little bit too much aggression there. Oh, and he didn't even slide. He's going to hurt himself over there, but pickoff throw goes awry. He got a little aggressive trying to go to third base. But we talked about this repeatedly. Rhodes is in the right place every single time they need to be, and that so far has been the difference in the game. And so they're going to leave that inning with no runs on no hits, and we're going to stay at a 4-run deficit as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
That one hurts just because you got a guy in scoring position.
Yeah, and I know as a coach, this has got to, this is going to turn you gray like Coach Douglas is starting to get, but you love the aggression of your players, but they also got to know situation. They got to know, you know, I know you want to get to third because of a pass ball, but base hit's going to score you. You got your number 3 hole hitter up. I've got to trust that he's going to get me home unless I can go into that base standing with 2 outs. I've got to just be patient and hold, especially knowing if you're paying attention to the game in the dugout. And this is the biggest thing is I try to tell a lot of, as I help out coach my son's 10U team, try to tell them, like, you got to be watching the game. Like, they're all excited to be with their friends, and I'm sure down here, you know, it's always a struggle trying to get guys to stay in when you're looking around, you're seeing this big field, knowing that, you know, major leaguers were just sitting in that dugout last week. But if you're watching, you're seeing Rhodes is backing up every play. You know that, and you've got to know that in your head at second base. Like, you know, if he tries to pick me off, I'm probably not getting a third, and just already know that. That was more of a reaction. Probably earlier in the season, he's able to make that play, and, you know, there it just kind of cost him.
And you use the term cautious aggressive when talking about hitters. You kind of got to be that way on the bases too, and just a little too aggressive there from Roman. And like you said, you hope they get another shot at it, but runners have been at a premium for the Lawyers today.
And down to 6 outs, and Rhodes is going to bring up James Joseph, who has already 2 for 2 with 2 RBI, and another shot. Nice knockdown play at third, and Cruz gets back up, makes the play, and you can even hear down the field, hey, hit the ball hard. And he did all 3 times up. He's had 3 good at-bats, and those are one of those you just tip your hat, nothing you can do.
Yeah, fantastic play there from Cruz, but like you said, hit the ball hard. Usually good things will happen. This is one of those times it doesn't bounce your way.
Yep, you saw him lay out there on the replay right here. Knocked it down, patient, got plenty of time at third. He just gets the ball over to first base for the first out, which Gonzalez needs some quick inning here because his pitch count is climbing, and they're timing him up. And Hunter Black steps into the plate, and he's really been a problem for Gonzalez, more a problem of him just throwing him strikes. He's walked twice today. And as you get down to that 7, 8, 9, that's the last thing as a pitching coach you want to have do is start walking those 7, 8, 9 guys.
Gets ahead with back-to-back curveballs here. Now he's up 0-2.
you know, we talked about it right before you came on the air that he really struggled early getting that curveball over, but I could see why Coach was so excited before the game. He said if he can get that curveball moving, he buried one for a strikeout. Those were two nice ones, kind of caught Black off guard a little bit. Sophomore's looking good out there. He's battled.
It's almost like he's got two different versions of it. He's got the big looper and then a little more tight sweeper. It's a pretty good pitch.
And here we go again with that 6 through 9, making things happen. That's the third time Black will reach base today with that base hit to right field.
Just a good job there. You know, we talked about changing the approach with 2 strikes, and he does that, just that. Gets a little wider, gets more defensive, so to speak, and hits the ball to the opposite field. Good piece of hitting.
And Rhodes continues their aggression on the lefty pitcher, and it's going to pay off again as Black's going to get into scoring position with 1 out.
This looks like a pretty good release from Mitchell. The ball's there in time, just a little offline.
That's the first one we've seen sail for him. He's been on point all day. And you can even see right now this approach by Simbeck. He just looks like he's trying to push that through. There's a big hole over there. Second base is holding on a little bit, holding the runner on. He's got a nice big hole. It looks like he's literally just trying to hit a ground ball through the right side. I think that's what I've noticed from Rhodes today. They're just trying to do those little things.
I was just about to say, the amount of L4s and singles to right on this score sheet shows what the offensive approach is. Just we're going to hit the ball the opposite way, and we're going to make you beat us.
And if he's going to bring that slow curve coming in from the left-hander too, it's a little bit easier sometimes just to poke that through the right side. Tied him up nicely there. And that's a big, big strikeout for Gonzalez. If they can get out of this as we turn it over to the top of the lineup. Number 9 hitter, Benitez, who has hit the ball twice today. He's got a single. His last at bat to left field, hit the ball nice and hard. But they're going to need a big 2-out hit here, and that would be a huge, huge run with 6 outs to go.
Just missing with the fastball there. And that's such a big pitch. Is getting it, the difference for a high school pitcher between 0-1 and 1-0 is insurmountable. It's just it's huge.
And a lot of time, you know, it's more mental than anything.
Absolutely.
You know, they start to panic a little bit unless you got some of those guys that, you know, and the difference is, you know, looking at the other side, Rhodes, they've got a 4-year starter, you know, as opposed to a sophomore, a little less experience. You're going to put a little more pressure on yourself. But he battled back now, got himself ahead in the count 1-2. See if he tries to bury one here. And if he does, Mitchell's got to be ready to block that so he can get the tag, because that thing bounces the backstop. We're going to be looking at first and third and 2 outs instead.
Absolutely.
But we talked about this pregame, Tim and I did, about the need for your catcher in this field, and both catchers have been outstanding. Balls have not been going to the backstop. They have not given up cheap bases.
And that's so huge at the high school level, even when you're not playing at Progressive Field, to just have a catcher that pitchers can trust, because then you get into the mentality of pitching where some guys get a little hesitant to spike that curveball because they don't know if it's going to end up blocked or not. And to have a guy that you can trust behind the plate is just huge at the high school level, especially when you bring in a backstop like this.
And I had a catcher once who would always pound his chest with 2 strikes, just like basically said, I got you, just throw it wherever you need to. You throw it in the dirt. And it was so much better as a pitcher just knowing, hey, I can bury one right here. And even if it's a ball, even if he swings and misses, we're in good shape because he's not letting anything go by. And like you said, that's just enormous. But after going up in a count 1-2 against him, he loses them and walks them. And now turns that lineup over. We've just seen 6 through 9, 2 of them get on. So now all of a sudden you get to the top of the lineup. It's exactly what they need. And here comes Coach Robinson coming out to talk to his young pitcher.
That was a great at-bat from Benitez to get to 2 strikes, not panic, foul a couple pitches off, take a couple good takes. Next thing you know, you work it into a walk.
He's going to trust his young lefty, though. You even saw, you know, earlier Coach Douglas was talking about Roman being one of their relief pitchers, and he's out there in center field not getting to warm up. He started to walk in thinking he was getting the call, but he's going to stick with Gonzalez and see if he can work out of this jam. I like the trust in the youngster.
I love it. and you mentioned his age. Given, you know, a sophomore being trusted to start this game, I think he's done a pretty good job. Just, you know, a break here, a break there, we're looking at a completely different ball game. So yeah, trust him to go get that out.
Another nice block by Mitchell. As Pieper steps to the plate, he's walked twice, scored a run with a strikeout sandwiched in the middle.
Another good block by Mitchell.
I almost got to think if he loses him here, though, that might have to be the end of the day. And maybe that's what he went out and told him. Said, listen, you got one more batter, give it what you got. Don't leave anything out there. Because then we're getting the meat of their lineup, and you can't afford to give up a big inning here, or really anything. But he does his job. Coach trusts him. He makes it pay off. There's another ground out going 5-3 from Ellington across the field. And Marshall avoids any more damage. And we will head to the top of the sixth with the score still Rhodes ahead 6-2 over John Marshall.
Nothing says summer like a game of baseball or softball. Starting June 5th and running through July 23rd, the City of Cleveland's rec centers will be offering a variety of youth baseball and softball for Cleveland and non-Cleveland residents under the ages of 18. Transportation will be provided along with equipment and uniforms. Leagues range from ages 9 to 18. Open registration runs until June 23rd. Please provide a waiver form, permission slip, and proof of age at registration. For more information, you can call your local rec center or call 216-664-2346.
And as we go to the top of the sixth here, Marshall looking to chip away at this lead and not leave everything for the seventh. It'll be Leonardo Ellington leading off, shortstop. Had a single his last at bat, so maybe he's got a little something going for him. He was left up at bat last inning when the runner was thrown out third on the errant pickoff move. So he's looking to get us started now instead of coming with the big 2-out base hit.
Leo's such a fun kid to be around. Comes in and works hard every day. And like I was saying last inning before Roman got thrown out at third, just a kid that really understands how to lead on a team. And John Marshall's going to need to turn to their leaders now with 6 outs remaining here.
And that's huge, you know, as a coach to have. You need to have at least 2 or 3 of those guys on every team you have, or your team's, I don't care how good of a coach you are, you can't be in every situation. You can't be everywhere they are. You need to have those leaders that can be kind of an extension of you. And every good coach will tell you that they're lucky enough to have one of those, but he chases a high heater right there, and Galan is still bringing it.
No drop in velo, no drop in any of the sharpness of his breaking balls. Galan is just cruising here in the 6th.
And now they'll turn to number 99, Nicholas Mitchell, their catcher. Hasn't yet to reach base today, did put it in play last time, right back up the middle of the pitcher. And you can hear them yelling. We talked about this earlier, that he had room, but this sky at this time of the day is really hard, as you saw him point to the sky even with his sunglasses on, but they're also not used to having such a wide space before they run a defense. You can see he got a little nervous there as he got close. And it's nice when somebody tells you got plenty of room, but you don't always trust it when you're the one running with your knees about to smash into a fence.
Yeah, and you feel that warning track under your feet, and feels like they're different in every park, so you never really sure how much room, and you don't want to be the one to go barreling into the paddock.
And we'll see if Mitchell adjusts his swing a little bit. He's got a little bit of a longer swing, but with 2 strikes now, he's not even going to get a chance as he just paints the corner for yet another strikeout. And Galan, you know, we talked about earlier, his only loss was in this game last year. So you know he's getting a little bit more adrenaline pumping up here as he gets down to the final few outs.
He's one of those guys that just seems to get better as the game goes on. Like, that we haven't seen a fastball paint the corner like that from him since really the first inning, and he's been sharp as going after another one here.
It's already a 7th strikeout as Ricardo Torres Velez steps into the box. Nice line drive base hit there. That's exactly what they needed. His 2nd time reaching base now. Let's see if that can spark Marshall to get at least 1 run back here. With Cruz stepping into the plate. Rios.
Cruz made that nice play defensively a couple innings back. You hope maybe get some mojo flowing from the defensive play into the stick here.
Just like we talked about earlier, I wonder how aggressive Marshall's going to be here. I think almost now, reverse of what I said before, I think you have to be aggressive, because if you go into that 7th inning with the way Galan is pitching and you need 4 runs, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, you're almost telling the guys, like, hey, like, we don't need all 4 right now, but just chip into it to show that we can make some progress.
Yeah, we definitely didn't need that. He got picked off on a throw by the catcher, and he's going to be tagged out at 2nd base to end the inning. So that takes away any shot of any kind of aggression. And they are going to have that tough 7th inning.
And Rhodes is starting to taste it. You saw Rivera having all the emotion after he gets the pick off here. And man, oh man, that one hurts for John Marshall.
Yep, and as we're heading into the half inning here, we are going to, you saw earlier, the All-Stars that were announced from both teams. And we want to recognize both players that were named MVP for softball and for baseball. Ality Calderon from Bard is the girls' softball MVP. And we've been seeing it all day from him on the mound, Tommy. The boys' MVP for the Senate baseball, Frankie Galan from James F. Rhodes, and he showed why today that he is the MVP of the league, and he's trying to aim for MVP of this game, and with 7 strikeouts, he just might get there.
Yeah, and he's well deserving. He's had a great year. You know, 311 hitter, like you said, his only high school loss coming in the Senate championship last year. Just a fantastic career for number 6. As he looks to put the exclamation point on it today with maybe an MVP of this game, like you said.
And with that said, we talked about last inning, Gonzalez maybe seeing his last hitter, and he was able to get out of it. And sure enough, just like Coach Douglas said earlier, Marshall is going to turn to their center fielder, now turned pitcher, another lefty, number 6, Daniel Roman. And their coach talked about him earlier in the game, and he was just pumped up about having a senior like this come out on the mound.
Roman, we talk about his speed all the time. He definitely can impact the game on the mound. He's going to command the zone. He's not going to walk a ton. It's going to be what we just saw in the warm-up there, is if he can get a feel for that breaking ball. And if he can get a feel for it, he's going to be dangerous to these Rhodes hitters. But if he can't, then it's going to be a little bit of issues.
Yeah, and we talked earlier about Roman with his coach, and we're going to hear from him now.
My relief pitcher will be senior Daniel Roman. I was thinking if the young sophomore gets in any trouble, I'd like to have the relief pitcher be a senior, someone who's got some experience. He throws hard. He needs to keep his fastball on the outside part of the plate, nip the corners, and he'll be real effective.
And that's going to be key for him, is hitting those corners, as some of the Rhodes hitters have been barreling the ball for sure, but he's also going to face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. So they're throwing him right in the fire. And we talked, Coach Douglas and I talked about this earlier, is that the problem is he's been in the game the whole game, so it's not like they could send him down to the bullpen. I know when I coached down here, it was always nice to have my relief pitcher be somebody that wasn't in the game. But in high school, you know how it is. Your best players are usually on the field because they're your, going to be your pitchers too, and so sometimes that doesn't work out. And him being the feeling for that breaking ball, you got to throw 4, 5, 6, 7. You just get that loose before you can feel it. So he might have to rely on a lot of fastballs and changeups here. and jumped on him right away, but a nice play out there in left field by Gargarita. And you could see Roman, a little pump of the fist. He needed that to settle in and hopefully get through this thing clean.
It's such a mentality switch too. You're sitting out there in the outfield, and you know you're a little lower stress than when you get thrust into the center of attention, and like you said, didn't really get a chance to get a feel for the breaking ball in the bullpen as much.
On the flip side of it, you know, I think it looks like they just swapped positions there. It looks like Gonzalez is now out in center field. You know, now he's out there thinking, well, what could I have done differently? Well, you got to be focused now because you don't want to give up a big run because you're not focused. And it reminded me of a game when we were playing against Rhodes, and our pitcher, Alvarado, pitched a great game, but he just ran out of gas. We put him in center field. What happens? The first player hits a base hit out there, guy coming from second, the tying run coming from second. And when I say laid out, Tommy, I mean he laid out on his throw. His whole body flipped in the air, landing on the ground, threw the tying run out at the plate, and that's after going out there and throwing 100 pitches. But the more important thing is you stay focused.
Yeah, definitely. And you're going to see that, especially with high school kids, that word focus is going to be crucial no matter where you're at, especially as we get down to the key moments of this game. You know, a guy like a right fielder, a third baseman that might not have gotten a ton of balls throughout the game, you just got to be ready for the one when it comes.
And Taribo steps in, and he scored earlier in the game with an RBI. He's put the ball in play all 3 times. And Roman basically told me I didn't know what I was talking about because that breaking ball looked pretty sharp there, Coach.
All it takes is one to just get the right feel for it, and then it's like a snowball. It's just going to start going and going and going.
Wonder if he doubles it up and goes with it again. Maybe Bears one in the dirt right here. He went right with the fastball, jammed it pretty nice too. It's gonna be a tough play though. And we talked about earlier, I think what happened there is that wind, like we said, that picked up. I think they both were running to the correct spot. I think that there was a gust of wind there that kind of blew our stuff around right before that, and it just kind of pushed it a little bit out of reach for both of them.
I was just about to say, you saw the center fielder mentality from Roman. As right off the bat, he goes barreling in for this thing. And like you said, the wind just pushes it just out of reach for him.
See, I wonder how much they can feel that like down in the dugout, because I think I'd bring right now my outfield in a little bit, take away a couple bloops, because it's going to be hard to drive that thing through the wind and get over their heads as deep as some of them are playing.
I mean, we even saw that ball off Galan's bat. That ball was hit pretty hard, but it was right at the left fielder. So yeah, there's definitely something to be said for maybe moving him in here.
Another nice breaking ball. Oh, but an error is going to let him reach base, and it goes into the camera bay. It's going to push him over to second base. So he made a nice play over there at third. He just couldn't get the throw. First baseman's upset with himself because he didn't scoop.
I would say that would have been a tough pick for Terez Velez.
Yeah, but you know how it is. You always want to make every play. As we look at it again, and he just kind of, I don't know if he just didn't throw all the way, come all the way through it, but he just kind of buried it in the dirt there. And you, as a first baseman, you'd rather have that be a short hop. That was pretty far out in front of him. Like you said, going to be a real tough pick.
I think that one that Cruz threw over his head earlier might have gotten his head, because everything that he's fielded since then has been that really like knee-high flat throw, and then this one just got away from him a little bit. It was a little short. It'll bring up Rivera.
And we talked about it all game. The catcher's not letting anything get by him. I mean, it doesn't take much. I didn't even go to the backstop. Barely went through, but that's a huge, huge base right there, because now they're going. Marshall has to bring the infield in here. No, Coach?
Yeah, you got to figure you got to cut the run down. 4 is a big enough mountain. You can't really play with 5 or 6 in your last at bat.
So far, they haven't brought him in. Third base looks like he's creeping a little bit over there.
Second baseman's in the baseline.
Now some are moving in. They seem like they're, okay, now they're bringing everybody.
There it is.
And there's another one. I think I know that they've got their number 4 hitter. I know he's a 341 hitter. He can hit the ball. But I think I'm taking my chances here and bring my outfielders a couple steps and see if I can cut the run down on a fly ball with this wind. Nobody's crushed the ball over our heads today. Great, great pick by Mitchell.
And additionally, you're at a point right now where you don't have much to lose at this point. You can only cut down runs. The difference between 4 or 5 isn't that much, but, or I'm sorry, the difference between like 5 or 6 and 7, but that the mountain's high enough.
And it's not going to matter. It's our first time we had that pass ball to the backstop. Is going to cost them a run, and that is going to be that 7th run of the game. That's going to give them their 5-run lead. And you can see the Rhodes players down there. They're kind of getting that little dance going on, like we know we're about to be champs. And you're also starting to see maybe a little bit of disappointment in the Marshall players as they're starting to see it slip away a little bit. Not that it's over, because we know Marshall can hit too, but unless Roman gets tired, it's going to be a real tough go here in the 7th inning.
I would say the beautiful thing about this game is there is no clock. It's not over till it's over, but boy, oh boy, that took the wind out of the sails of John Marshall, and then the walk to Rivera doesn't help there.
Looks like they're going to run for their catcher here.
Yep.
Looks like outfielder, 10th grader Hayden Woodall is going to run, and I'm sure that's either they're running for him just to let him get relaxed for the inning, but I guarantee we're going to see him re-enter and go right back in the game either way.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Because that can't be a courtesy run unless there's 2 outs. That was a nice move by Rome there. Almost had him lead. That's the last thing you want from your pinch runner is to get picked off before a pitch is thrown. So luckily for him, he got back, or he might have heard about it.
Roman's just leaving everything tall right now. His chest's tall. He's leaving the ball high. Really got to focus on getting out in front of it, chest over knee.
They're still throwing over there.
Not a bad thought. I figured a guy that's going to come in off the bench as a runner might just do that and run. But if I'm Roman, I'm attacking the hitter, trying to induce a ground ball.
And he's just filled up the zone here. He can't afford to give up any more base runners. Rios hits it sharp. Almost turned a double play, but not quite. But they do get the lead runner, keep him out of scoring position on the fielder's choice, as Rios will just change places.
Good job to get the lead runner there, but yeah, just a little too quick out of Rios to hustle it down and prevent the double play.
So big spot here for Roman. He's got to get out of this, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be easy because Joseph's probably hardest hit ball of the day was the only time he was out. He crushed the ball to third base, and a great play was made earlier by Cruz, but another ball goes to the backstop, which is going to put somebody in scoring position, and that's exactly where Joseph lives today. He's had two out RBI singles already today. He's looking to make it a third, and that would really, really put the pressure on Marshall.
Just a really, really well-played game. I mean, the dirt ball reads, like balls like that to the screen are on the easier side to read, but anything in the dirt, they've been really aggressive on, and it's been, like Coach Douglas was saying, they're well coached, and they do a lot of the little things right, and that's what separates you in a game like this.
A little grounder off to the side here. Make the count 2-1. But earlier, both coaches, we talked about keys of the game. We said 6 to 9 hitters. We said throwing strikes. We said errors. Well, so far, if you look up there, you can put the check next to Rhodes on all 3 of those.
Yeah.
And not coincidentally, that's where the scoreboard's leading right now. Good idea to step off there because he had a huge lead. And I know with 2 outs, you don't normally steal, but if he can get over there, there's been a couple pass balls this inning. If nobody's going to cover you, you may as well walk into third base.
you know, it's something we talk about in football is another good dirt ball read there. But, you know, take what the defense gives you, and Caesar was taking a pretty big lead there and was ready to take third if they were going to give it to him.
And how often do you yell to your kids, especially being on the junior high, I need a better secondary, I need a better second? Well, that's why. If you're already bouncing off the base, it's so easy to pick the ball up the dirt and go.
Yep. Good secondary needs you on a hit. If I said it once, I've said it a million times. That ball smoked.
Great play in center field, though. Great job by Gonzalez. We just talked about that, being able to come back in after you've been out, pitching that whole game, being disappointed, and you come in and make a play. That saves a run right there for them. That's huge. And we'll be heading into the top of the 7th now, and a lot of work for Marshall to do as we take a break. Coming back for the 7th inning of the championship game.
Cleveland. The summer season is almost here, and with that means a summer vacation's worth of fun for you and your loved ones. And what better way to spend part of your summer vacation than at camp? Starting June 12th and running through August 18th, Cleveland's Camp Forbes will be opening its doors for City of Cleveland residents ages 9 through 13 for a free week of camp. Kids will spend the week at the residential camp in log cabins, enjoying activities such as fishing, hiking, kayaking, and so much more. Meals will be provided along with transportation from local neighborhood resource and recreation centers. Registration runs until June 2nd, and you can register at any City of Cleveland Recreation Center. Please have the child's birth certificate, immunization records, and proof of Cleveland residency prepared before signing up. Spaces first come, first serve.
And we are back here at the championship game at Progressive Field with Rhodes ahead 7-2 over John Marshall, and they got some work to do here in the 7th inning. And we are now joined in the booth by Raphael Collins with Cleveland Charities, and he's going to talk a little bit about their program, a little more in depth than we did, with all the great things we told you that they did earlier. Welcome into the booth, Raphael.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
And right now, Marshall's going to have to look to get some base runners any way they can, and a nice aggressive swing. Can he beat the throw over? But once again, great job by Rhodes, fundamentally sound. People covering bases. They've done it all game, and they continue it here as they get Cruz out at first base. Nice comebacker there. He runs over. Nice little flip, leads him, gets him out in plenty of time for the first out, and a big first out in the 7th inning. But coach is still coaching him up. He's like asking his pitcher, why didn't you get over there? You should have been the one getting there. But play worked out. You don't see a lot of those 3-4 putouts at first base, but they'll take it. Oh, and my mistake. They must have said the ball hit off his foot. I was just about to say, why is Cruz up? Because he was not actually out. It was a nice play. That's more what Coach from Rhodes was asking about, is why was it not an out, and see if he can pay off. Another nice line drive, bounces off his glove. Nice recovery, but he can't make the throw, and wisely Cruz holds up at first because they're going to need a lot more. Him risking it right now does not make much sense. So how great is it, Raphael, to see when, you guys know how much you guys do for these kids in Cleveland, to see a game like this on a day like this?
It's really good. Top of the day started off with all the baseball and softball players being recognized for all Senate selections, and culminating here with this championship game. It's just good to see all these kids competing, and for me, it's even more rewarding because a lot of these kids are kids that we activate and engage with throughout the course of the entire year through our RBI program.
And that's huge. And being a former RBI coach and both the junior and senior levels, just seeing those kids, and just the other day in my son's own scrimmage, all of a sudden I heard a Coach Cass, and I turned around. It was one of our players from RBI. I hadn't seen him in about 5 years, and now he was up doing some pitching lessons for some kids, and just seeing those kids going back. And without the RBI program, a lot of these kids wouldn't be able to do that. And it's just great that you guys are involved with them so much, and it's just changing lives.
Yeah, right now, about 2 years ago, we made a change where we try to construct every roster for our RBI teams with a minimum of at least 75% of our kids who play in those teams come from CMSD schools. we know it's a valuable program. We know that the kids see the value in it. We know they enjoy being around our pro players, and we want to make sure our CMSD kids get that type of opportunity and those experiences.
And as a CMSD teacher and as a former CMSD coach, I just appreciate that they get those opportunities, because there's only so much time in the day that we have to really reach out and be able to do stuff for them, but they have another program. And I know what RBI does a lot more, and you can talk more about it, but a lot more than just, hey, here's a good team to play on, here's a coach to play on, as we see a stolen base attempt and successfully get in scoring position. But, you know, talk about what you guys do more than just the baseball aspect of it, because I know how huge that is.
Yeah, so we got some great coaches, and they really passionate coaches who on the field kind of give everything, but off the field, we try to make it a full 360 approach to kind of how we go through RBI. So throughout the course of the seasons, in the summertime, we do community service programs. We invite them to do different programs here with our players, with our big league players, with our coaches. Our kids are hosting clinics for younger kids who just want to get interested in playing the game. And so it's just kind of cool to see all these young people, these young guys and girls kind of build the camaraderie that they have, and just play a small part in that. I find a lot of passion behind it myself.
And what I really love about that is it carries over. It's not like it's just maybe one or two cities do that. It's the entire RBI program. Like, we were in the World Series in Dallas. Actually, I think it was the last year I coached with Coach Douglas, and we went to the food bank. We got food prepared. Those kids, you would have thought we were at the amusement park. They were having so much fun to helping other people out. They didn't look at it as, why we got to be here. We're here for the World Series. And there's a nice little base hit here to right field, and we're going to have a throw to the plate, and it's going to be wide, and Marshall will get on the board, chipping away at that lead. It's got to start somewhere, and it started with a nice RBI single there to right field.
Really waking up those Marshall fans now.
You can't come back with 5 runs without getting that first one, so they'll take whatever they can get. Luckily, it didn't cost them. If I'm Rhodes, I'm going to want to throw that ball to second base there. We don't need to throw a runner out there when we're up by that much. We don't need to let it snowball, keep the force play intact, but luckily he hit his cutoff, so they were able to keep him there. Big swing by Gargarita, who did strike out his last time and has a ground out to first. Seventh inning championship game. You still hear Coach down there, still coaching him up, trying to help him out with his hitting. Rhodes fans that had been taking shade are now moving down to the front. They don't care about the sun now. They want to be down here in case this is the end of it, to celebrate a championship with their classmates as the school year winds down here. And a little blooper here, but it looks like he's going to get behind it. Taribo gets behind, tries to throw back, not in time.
Juan Taribo is one of our RBI kids. He's been in our program for 3 or 4 years, I believe. So is his other siblings as well.
And that's great. The longer they can be in here. Now you can see the Rhodes and even Taribo himself trying to get the crowd into it. The coach is trying to calm everybody down, remind them there's only 2 outs, we need 3. But Roman looking to complete this game, finish it out. And I can't tell you how impressed I've been with the way he's pitched today. And his only loss, we talked about it a couple times, was last year in this game. He's looking to redeem himself and end his high school career with that W, that championship for his team. Down here at Progressive Field, no better way as a senior to leave than with that championship. And you could do it with a complete game on the mound, even better. As the first time he's looked like he's fallen a little bit high, you get a little bit excited. You throw a little bit harder as a pitcher, try to throw harder. He just needs to stay in his zone and finish it off. He's been in control all day long. And now he's down to his final strike, as Marshall is down to their final strike. Roman, one of their best hitters, one of their leaders. Galan on the mound, their leader. The league MVP, looking to close off an outstanding performance today by himself and by the Rhodes Rams. And that's just a veteran move right there. Step out the box. He's all excited. The whole team's excited. The fans are excited. Roman said, nope, ain't going to happen right here. We're going to slow you down a little bit.
All those fans up on their feet.
And he stays alive. Yeah, if I'm Marshall and there's 2 strikes and 2 outs, this is the guy I want in the box. I mean, he's been outstanding all year for them. He's one of their leaders. We heard it from his RBI coach, how he's a leader.
I've been around Danny Roman for a few years now, and he's always been the coach in the clubhouse for us. He's rallying the kids, even if he doesn't play a lot. His voice is always heard. He's a special kid. I personally cheer for him.
See, and this is how you know that he's that special, because you're the 3rd coach that's now said exactly the same thing about him, how he is a leader down there. He's on there, and that's exactly, I talked about it with Tommy last half inning, that as a coach, you can only be so good. I don't care how good your players are. If you don't have those kind of leaders in your team, on your team, you just can't. We had a player in Lincoln West years back, Ryan Ruiz, who got drafted actually by back then the Indians.
I remember.
And I tell the story all the time. I taught at a different school than when I coached at. I would show up and he'd already have them on the track running. Not because I told him to, but because he wanted to take advantage of every second of practice. He wanted to get as many ground balls in. And that sounds like the same kind of player Roman is. You need to have leaders like that on your team. I don't care if he's your best player, the number 11 player on your team. I like that by Rhodes, though. A little trip out to the mound. Roman was excited. Hit the batter there. Let's get you calm back in. You dominated all game. Don't do too much. He's got to be getting close on pitch count, though, too. And I know he wants him to finish this game on the mound. There's going to be a little blooper into center field, and that's going to be it. The Rhodes Rams have done it. Galan has done it with a complete game victory. And let the dog pile begin out in the center of the diamond.
Congratulations to the Rhodes Rams.
Great game all around. Both teams played well. Rhodes just played a little bit sharper. We're able to pull off the victory today, and really it comes down to the MVP of the league. Galan was just outstanding on the mound. It's hard if you can't score runs, and he was not giving them any freebies. He was commanding of the plate. Congratulations to your Senate 2023 Senate champion Rhodes Rams. And we'll send it to break.
Lace up those aprons and get those creative juices flowing for a summer of arts and crafts in the city of Cleveland. The Bureau of Cultural Arts is offering a variety of arts and crafts classes for all ages and abilities through the city of Cleveland at Cadell Fine Arts. Programs include pottery, painting, sewing, cooking, and more. Classes run from June 5th to August 18th. Residents can also look forward to Cadell Fine Arts' yearly craft carnival, featuring a variety of interactive and creative activities. Attendees can enjoy hands-on experiences such as painting, paper arts, and jewelry making. For more information, you can contact Cadell Fine Arts at 216-664-4183.
Here we are at Progressive Field for the championship of the 2023 baseball season, won by the James F. Rhodes Rams. So this is becoming familiar territory as I do the sideline interviews post-game. I've done a lot of talking with the Rams coaching staff. Once again, this year, you guys are running out of room in that trophy case.
Hey, we don't mind at all. We hope to be back next season. We know our football team's done well, our basketball team, track. At Rhodes, we just really work really hard. We're lucky to have a good AD, good teachers, good staff, and very good kids.
Yeah, coach! Yeah!
every year around spring training, when you get these guys back together, do you talk about this moment, or it's one day at a time and you really don't look that far?
Wish I could say it's one day at a time, but we do talk about the game here. I think it's our 17th year straight, and we expect to be here every year, but we work hard at it. It starts back in around Thanksgiving time. We do study tables, make sure the kids' grades are up, make sure they understand how to be men in the classroom, out of the classroom, how to play the game the right way. So it's a lot of work, but these kids have put it in. Couldn't do it without them, and the assistant coach Brandon Wolf also has done a great job for us.
So come on, Wolf. So usually I've been in these situations where the head coach is the face of the program and the assistant does all the grinding. Are you the guy that's with the guys all the time?
Like Brian said, it comes from the teachers, admin, our AD. Brian and I just work really well as a team. But like I said, we work hard. Minimum GPA is a 1.0. We strive for 2.5, 3.0 or better. We just preach good kids, leaders in the classroom, and yeah, just teamwork all around. Yep.
So on this year's roster, how many seniors did we have?
All right, we had 4 seniors this year. All 4 played today. James Joseph played first base, had a great game. Frankie Gallon Cruz, he pitched today, did very well. I think he had 8 strikeouts. Juan Rubio hit the ball. First hit we had of the game today, very good hit, played well in the field. And then Louis Simbeck also. So we've had 4 seniors, but we have a lot of kids coming back. So we hope to be back again.
Well, there you have it. As your fan base looks on, they are looking forward to 2024 as well. So we can start the rah-rah for the defending Rams Rhodes baseball program and hope to see you all here next year. I'm Joe Wise for CMSD Sports. We got the trophy presentation, the 2023 Rhodes Rams. There you have it, your CMSD 2023 champion.